And so in the last video, I spoke about two things that have a huge cost on the brain. The first one being multitasking. Many people are aware of this. When you switch contexts, not good for your brain. And the second one being entertainment. When you're always being entertained, you are costing your brain so much, and the opportunity cost. If you haven't checked that out, check out the playlist of this video. I want to talk about two more today. I want to talk about distraction and disorganization. When you're distracted, you're having to switch context as well. Let's say you're scrolling on Instagram and one post makes you happy, the other post makes you sad, the other one makes you laugh, the other one makes you feel a little bit envious. The difference between distraction and multitasking is that in distraction, you have no control over where your brain is channeling its resources. At least in multitasking, you can decide that I want to do this and this at the same time. And so you can kind of control how you are channeling your resources between those two contexts. That is not good. It still costs your brain a lot. But now imagine how much more distraction costs your brain. Because every time, for example, you're scrolling, there are so many feelings and emotions your brain is having to process. At the same time, understanding what you're seeing, maintaining how you're feeling, etc. It's a lot. It has a huge toll on your brain. And so it costs you a lot. And so when you spend 1 hour scrolling on Instagram, sometimes you realize that even after scrolling, you just feel tired. You're like, oh, I want to do something to relax. And it's sort of a vicious cycle because some people go on social media to distress. They feel stressed, and so they go on social media to kind of get some relief and some fun and feel something new. And then they get on social media and then they stress their brains so much. They're processing so many emotions, thinking of things that would ideally not have crossed their mind in the day. And so it's a vicious cycle. You go on social media to distress and then get stressed by too much scrolling. So definitely distraction is a huge cost to your brain. And it might not be social media. It might be just in your everyday life. And then you're talking here and then next thing you're doing something else and someone else is calling you. And then, or maybe even as a mom, I've realized that sometimes moms live the most hectic schedules in the day, and the children want this time and then they want that the other time, and then they have to clean this, they have to be there for this person. Little wonder many times the women feel a little bit exhausted after the day and they just feel so stressed up. They have so many distractions, and this is a side conversation to what I have this video for. But if you're a man or if you're a friend to any woman, especially mothers, new moms especially, be kind to them and help out where you can. So, but distraction is a huge cost, and I think it's abundantly clear how huge that is. The other thing I want to talk about that is a huge cost to the brain when you engage in it is disorganization. When you're disorganized, you make it so much more expensive for your brain to process whatever it is you have to process. And that's why sometimes when you're studying, they ask you to bring everything you need for that study session so you don't have to get up and go get something or look for where you kept this. If you're trying to review a journal, if you're trying to do any kind of work, it's always a good idea to have everything you need in one place, organized, so that you can refer to whatever you need during the period of your study. And I use that as an example to illustrate my point. When you're organized, you make it easy because your brain knows where to go to access whatever information it needs to process what it has to process. When you're disorganized, you first have to figure out where can I find that, and then look for it, and then try to understand what you found, and then bring it back into the context of what you were doing. And so this is a form of subliminal context switching as well, and that's why post-it notes are great when you're studying. You want to write down where you have this idea and have it somewhere that you can easily refer to it. That's why there's a glossary when you're studying a book. They want you to be able to quickly find the ideas. Imagine having to encounter a new word in what you're, maybe not new word, but a concept in a book, and then you've encountered it before, but because there's no glossary, you now have to figure out, where did I find it? Where was I reading when I found that word or encountered that idea? And then after finding it, you now have to come back to what you have been reading to understand better. It's a little bit confusing, and it's just too much mental work. It's mental load. And so, how do you save cost here? Be organized. Try to organize your study sessions or your work sessions as much as possible. In your home, be organized. Arrange your kitchen in a specific way, have a sort of routine you follow. Don't just throw things. Imagine you're trying to go outside. You want to attend an event, for example, and then you have always kept your things anywhere you felt like keeping them. And then you're all dressed up, and all you're looking for is, where did I drop my cufflinks? And then you can't find it for the life of you. And then you check everywhere trying to find your cufflinks. If you're organized, you will save yourself that mental work by just going to where you always keep your cufflinks. And you save yourself so much stress. Your brain is not overworked. You're happy. You feel in a good mood to go out. So these are two more things that are huge brain costs. One, when you're distracted, it will cost you a lot. So how do you avoid that? DND. There's a new song, DND, that is trending. Put things on Do Not Disturb. Have specific times when you allow things to come as notifications, rather than just being an open book, open door, anyone can walk in at any time. It will cost you so much more to maintain that kind of lifestyle, especially your brain. It will cost your brain so much to maintain that, versus if you had set times when you attended to tasks. And that leans in nicely into organization. Don't be disorganized. When you are disorganized, then you will cost your brain so much more to find what it needs to help you solve the problem you're trying to solve. But when you're organized, everything is easy. You know where to go to find what you need. Thank you for watching this video. I'll share the last two in the next one.